Hi, I'm Fabrice Mazery. I'm the Chief Product Officer of Tiga, a product management and product design company in Paris and in Madrid. And I've been in product management for the last 18 years now. And I remember having a conversation about my future with my parents, but I never told them, Mom, Dad, when I'm a grown up, I want to create Jira tickets. No, no, because I definitely wanted to be that guy. I wanted to be the guy who was going to create mind-blowing new things using the latest technology available. And to be frank with you, I think I still fantasize of being that guy. But whatever. Now it has a name, creating mind-blowing new things with technology. It's called disruption. And everybody's talking about disruption nowadays. It has become a buzzword. But what if? Imagine for 1 second, if you had a disruptive technology in your hands, what would you do? Who would you work with? Where would you start? What would you be ready to do to create a product that would be worth paying for? Well, I had to find an answer to those questions when I created my third company, Code, a neurotech company. And I ended up selling it not to Google to become rich, but to NASA for ethical reasons. I'm going to tell you the story behind this and all the lessons that I took that I hope make me a more responsible product manager. So let's start with the beginning, the technology. I cannot give you a lot of details about it because it's partly classified, but we can use an image, the image of a plane. In a plane, you have flight recording devices. It's called a black box that records everything happening in the body of the plane and in the brains of the plane, the cockpits of the pilots and the crew. If anything bad happens, you can retrieve the black box, take the data out of it, transform that into information that experts can analyze so they can provide you with insights about what happened and ways to avoid it from happening again. Now let's take a human being. You have a body and you have brains, and there's a system linking the two. It's called the autonomous nervous system, but it's encrypted by design. Your brain doesn't have access to it, and neither your doctor or your trainer or any application whatsoever, because you don't have a black box. Well, actually, what if you had a black box? What if you could take that data, transform that into information, and through pattern matching algorithm, for example, well, give information to those people or to yourself? Which new possibilities would that open? Well, an ocean of them. And that's one of the first questions that you need to answer to when you create disruption or want to create disruption is where to start. Because based on such a technology, well, you can understand why your baby's crying, or at the other side of life, try to diagnose Alzheimer precociously. You could work in entertainment, trying to create an engine that is going to create automatic immersion within video games, or at the other side, do that around education, trying to understand why some children cannot talk or cannot read or cannot calculate. So there are a lot of paths. We decided with that technology to actually go in the path towards the most obvious market, which was the market where we could have a better impact that would actually be in the range of our ethical compass with healthcare. We could make an impact and consider the ethical consequences of it. So for the first 2 years, we actually met doctors of all specialties and tried to create something for them. Well, in that ocean, we understood that doctors were a special kind of fish, the suspicious fish. So any doctor, when you talk about this kind of technology, we start by doubting of the technology. Is it really possible? Why didn't I have access to that as a doctor? Are you saying that I diagnose people badly? These are really great questions. And the answer is, well, the technology works, is a demonstration. And yes, because you didn't have that information, so maybe there's a way to diagnose it better. And well, the suspicious now is not suspicious at all, is actually frightened, because all the doctors that we met that understood the technology said, well, push it back because you're going to replace me. So it took us 2 years to understand that doctors would never ever accept our technology just because they feared about their business. And that was a punch in the stomach. So, well, we went back to the ocean to find other fishes, and we met other optimistic fishes. People that really get what technology is about and imagine use cases that would never ever make money. So they are more into science fiction than science. For example, vets that wanted us to find a way to make cats speak. So yes, maybe technology it was possible, but what for? What was really the use case behind that? Is there even a market? Because when at the end you need money. You need money to do R&D because in our mind we still wanted to diagnose Alzheimer precociously. So well, we met several optimistic fishes and we say no. Then we were met, not by choice, by another kind of fish, the shark. Sharks are people from big companies that really understand the use cases that could make money, but for them and for you, but not for the users. We met automotive companies, we met pharmaceutical companies, insurance companies, and they were all like that. I remember an entertainment company that wanted us to create a way so that their games could become addictive, so people could spend a bunch of money into them. And we say no. And this shark didn't really understand why. So we explained them that we had a moral compass, our vision. We refused a future or participating to a future where our principles were dead. The problem is that sharks don't take no as an answer. So at the beginning, we were just feeling being followed in the street, you know? Then we received death threats. 1, and 2, and 4, and 10. And then our servers were attacked. And then even one day, we went back to the office and it looked like this. It had been ransacked. Nothing had been stolen. There was no message, but the message was implicit. Either you work with us or against us. So imagine that you're in my shoes. You want to create something good with a new technology. And all the answers that you receive are people that are feared or unrealistic or that actually want to kill you. What will you do? Well, to be frank with you, with my partner, we wondered. And we thought, well, we don't understand because our intentions are good. But intentions are not enough. Even if you want to create something good, if people think that you're creating a weapon, maybe you are. So, well, we said if we are really indeed creating a weapon, we need to stop everything. We need to kill it. We need to erase the technology. But before taking that decision, we actually met a guy. And the guy asked us if we were still looking for a company for the sensor, to have a better sensor to take the data out of your body. And we said, well, yes, we still are looking for people like this. And actually he had a contact in the Netherlands and said, I think it's worth it. So with my partner, we decided to go. We decided it would be the last chance. If then didn't work, we'll stop everything. So we went there, did the demonstration. After the end of the demonstration, everybody stayed silent, dead, silent. In French, we say an angel is passing. And to me, it was the angel of death that was passing. So after that long silence, a guy speaks up and says, do you want to work with NASA? So you might think that I felt joy at that moment, but I think my face looked like this. Here, NASA, the rocket guys, you're making fun of me, right? He said, well, no, not making fun of you. We are working with NASA and they have a problem because all astronauts have a superhero syndrome. They think they are flawless people. The problem for NASA is that if they want to send these guys to Mars, well, they have absolutely no way to assess if that superhero is in the psychological and physical conditions to take a critical decision in a critical situation. And if the decision is bad, it's going to end up with a catastrophe because there would be death and billions of dollars absolutely lost. So yes, we met NASA and they say we want to buy the technology. And you say, well, yeah, on one condition, that you guarantee contractually that it will never be used by anyone but you. No public company, no private company whatsoever. So they say yes. It is not out of talent, but out of luck that we actually sold our company to NASA. But which are the lessons that I took about responsible product management? Well, the first one is about disruption itself. Usually we talk about technology, but it's really a mix of technology and people. And if you think about it, product is exactly the same thing. We're not selling technology, we're selling usage. We are measuring usage and behaviors. So we cannot say we're not responsible of the behaviors of our users. We cannot say, well, weapons don't kill, people kill. No, because we don't sell weapons, we sell the usage of weapons. So we must start by taking responsibility. And taking responsibility as product managers is considering our products as our children. We are their parents. We give them birth. Which kind of behavior do you want your children to have? So you need to measure this. You need to measure this and to act on that. So if you consider your product, you have three kinds of impacts that makes the footprint of your product on the world. The first one is about people. So which is the impact that has your product on people? And can people actually trust your product with their data? For example, is your product trying to create a toxic relationship by abusing of the time, attention, emotions of the people that it enters in relationship with? The second one is about the planet. Is your product polluting? Is she trying to do something to lessen its footprint on the environment? The third one is about the economy, the profit. Is she a parasite? Is she actually killing a part of the economy through fees because it's just a platform? So parasites. If you want to act on this, of course, there are a lot of ways. And actually, I'm writing a book about it to give you levers to use so that you can lessen the footprint of your product. The third thing to do after actually measuring and acting is preventing. So stay away from digital weapons, the easy recipes that promise you that you can change the behaviors of your users for your own benefit. Because at the end, what you're doing is manipulation, toxic relationship. The second thing to do is to forget about the data-driven bullshit. It is not a right way to drive product management because data doesn't drive the decision. You do, considering, of course, quantitative data, but qualitative data, intuition, gut feeling, and your moral compass. If you only follow data, you end up by being a digital sociopath. All you do is not creating use cases for people. It's actually trying to fulfill your OKRs or your NSM. And it makes you blind. Just like people that created Google, Facebook, or Twitter. You can criticize those guys, but in a way, if you don't behave differently, you end up creating a monster. The third way to prevent is to think about the consequences that could happen up front, not after you've created something, a new feature on a new product. Think about what could possibly go wrong. Of course, you cannot anticipate everything, but by asking the question, you might actually be able to create barriers or at least to create metrics so that if you have an alert, you can dig in and try to see maybe we're creating bad things, bad behaviors that will actually have a bad impact on your users or your non-users. So at the end, it's not about frameworks. It's about humility. It's not because we can create something that we should create it. So thank you for listening to me. Here are all the ways to make you do more responsible product management. And well, I hope that you'll follow them, and I hope that at the end, if I create a free book, well, you read it. Thank you a lot, and bye bye.